Good evening. Welcome to South Asia Newsline. I'm Arjun Chaudhary. Here are the top stories we're tracking for you on Thursday, the 6th of November. Protests continue against killing a blasphemy accused Christian couple in Pakistan. India's Narendra Modi government set for cabinet expansion. And Sikhs across India celebrate birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Sahib. And now for all the details. Christians and rights activists are continuing their protests against the brutal killing of a pregnant Christian woman and her husband over alleged blasphemy in Pakistan. Police claim to have arrested more than 60 people for burning the couple alive, while cases have been filed against 500 others.
Kot Radhakishan in Punjab province of Pakistan bore a deserted look on Thursday, with shops remaining shut and a heavy contingent of police deployed in the village. Shehzad Masih and his wife Shama Bibi, who worked in a brick kiln, were burnt alive for allegedly desecrating the Quran on Tuesday. Relatives of the couple denied the allegations, stating that the couple was illiterate. Many said the entire community was fearful for their lives.
ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਜਾਨਾਂ ਬਚਾ ਕੇ ਤੇ ਜਿੱਧਰ ਸਾਡੇ ਬੱਚੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਤੇ ਗਾਇਬ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਕੋਈ ਕਿਤੇ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਅੱਜ ਤੱਕ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਉਹਦਾ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਲੱਗਾ ਤੇ ਮਿਹਰਬਾਨੀ ਕਰਕੇ ਸਾਡਾ ਇਨਸਾਫ ਦਿਲਾਇਆ ਜਾਏ ਉਹਦੇ ਛੋਟੇ 4 ਬੱਚੇ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਨਾ ਮਾਂ ਰਹੀ ਨਾ ਬਾਪ ਰਿਹਾ ਤੇ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਕੀ ਬਣੇਗਾ.
Hundreds of Christians, civil society members and political parties also took to the streets of Pakistan demanding justice to the family. The protesters urged the government to take strict action against those accused.
मैं चाहता हूं कि बराए मेहरबानी करके जो उलमा कराम है वो भी एक्शन लें और जो हुकूमतें हैं वो भी एक्शन लें, चीफ ऑफ आर्मी स्टाफ भी एक्शन ले ताकि ये जुल्मों सितम कब तक हम सहते रहेंगे.
Many in capital Islamabad said the government should ensure that stringent blasphemy laws in the country are not misused against the religious minorities.
This is unacceptable, and I think we are demanding from our parliament to review this blasphemy law and make sure that this should not be misused.
Pakistan Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif and Human Rights Commission of Pakistan have also sought a report on the incident from provincial government. The minority Christian community, which makes up nearly 1.6% of population in Pakistan, has regularly been targeted in the name of blasphemy in the Muslim majority nation.
India is set for a cabinet reshuffle by next week. Reports say Prime Minister Narendra Modi is looking to appoint a new defence minister and also expand his 45-member cabinet. A report.
New Delhi is abuzz with talks of plans for the cabinet expansion. This comes after Goa Chief Minister Manohar Parrikar held meetings with Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Bharatiya Janata Party Chief Amit Shah on Wednesday. While there is no official confirmation, reports indicate that Mr. Parrikar, who played a key role in Mr. Modi's election campaign last year, is likely to be the country's new defence minister. The post is currently held by Arun Jaitley, who is also the country's finance minister. However, Mr. Parrikar has distanced himself from the speculation.
Why put the horse before cart?
Sunday का दिन
तो Sunday को नहीं तो Prime Minister को पूछिए उसके बारे में.
Reports also suggest that Mr. Modi could induct as many as 10 ministers in his present 45-member cabinet, while perhaps also promoting some ministers of state. At present, at least a dozen cabinet ministers, including ministers with independent charge, are managing more than one portfolio. Political analysts say the move will lighten the burden of the current cabinet and also make room for better representation.
I think it's good because expansion, if it has to be done, if changes have to be made, they should be made at the initial stage, not too late. If it's too late, then the ministers don't have time to implement programs.
Concentration of key posts in a few hands can prove to be a real bottleneck for Mr. Modi's government as the issues they handle get more complex. Although no formal decision has been made in this regard, cabinet expansion would represent the first major change in Mr. Modi's government after almost 6 months in power. Avneet Arora for South Asia Newsline in New Delhi.
Days after it claimed responsibility for the deadly suicide attack at the Indo-Pak border, the Tehreek-e-Taliban Pakistan has now threatened to carry out similar attacks in neighbouring India. A report.
Security has been stepped up at sensitive points across India following a new terror threat. Jamaat-ul-Ahrar, a breakaway faction of the Pakistan Taliban, confirmed that its next target was India. I have already conveyed it to Modi that if our suicide bombers can carry out attacks on this side of the border, they can easily do it on the other side of the border in India, Ehsanullah Ehsan, spokesperson of the insurgents, said. Ehsan also posted a similar message on a microblogging site after Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi condemned the recent terror attack at the Wagah border that killed 61 Pakistanis. The Jamaat-ul-Ahrar had taken responsibility for the attack on November 2nd, calling it a revenge for the ongoing military crackdown in Pakistan's North Waziristan.
Supporters of Bangladesh's ruling Awami League took out protest marches across the country, opposing the repeated shutdowns enforced by the Jamaat-e-Islami. The Jamaat has been demonstrating against the various court verdicts that sentenced its top leaders to death for war crimes committed during the 1971 Liberation War.
Hundreds continued to take to the streets of capital Dhaka, protesting the ongoing strike by Jamaat-e-Islami. Condemning Jamaat's 3-day shutdown, many said Bangladeshis have rejected the call by the country's largest Islamic party.
বাংলার জনগণ আজকে হরতাল প্রত্যাখ্যান করে দোকানপাট খোলা, অফিস আদালত খোলা, গাড়ি ঘোড়া চলছে, সবকিছু স্বাভাবিক। এতে প্রমাণ করে এদেশের মানুষ যে রায় হয়েছে নিজামী এবং কামরুজ্জামানের, এইটা তারা সন্তুষ্ট এবং তাকে তাদের অবিলম্বে ফাঁসির কাছে ঝুলাবার জন্যই আজকে এই হরতালে প্রত্যাখ্যান করে দোকানপাট খোলা রেখেছে।
The Jamaat had announced a 24-hour shutdown last week after the Bangladesh Supreme Court rejected party chief Motiur Rahman Nizami's appeal against his death penalty. The party called for another 72-hour nationwide blockade after two more top leaders of the party, Muhammad Kamruzaman and Mir Qasim Ali, were convicted to death earlier this week for their involvement in war crimes committed during the struggle for independence.
Bangladesh has expressed its commitment towards fighting militancy and cross-border crimes on its border with India. Bangladesh Prime Minister advisor Gohar Rizvi on Wednesday assured of curtailing threats to the security of both the countries. He further said Dhaka will share all the information relating to Jamaat-ul-Mujahideen Bangladesh or JMB with New Delhi. The statement came in the wake of a blast in India's West Bengal last month that killed 2 militants belonging to JMB. India's counter-terrorism organization, the National Investigation Agency, which began probing the blast, uncovered a plot by JMB to assassinate Bangladeshi Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina. Investigators said the banned Islamist militia was also planning to organize a coup in Bangladesh from West Bengal. The JMB, which was behind the 2005 serial blast at nearly 300 locations across Bangladesh, has been banned in both the countries ever since. India's cricketing legend Sachin Tendulkar revisited his glorious career at the launch of his autobiography. The highly anticipated book has already run into controversy for Tendulkar's criticism on former Indian coach Greg Chappell.
Sachin Tendulkar unveiled his autobiography titled Playing It My Way at a glittering ceremony on Wednesday, which was attended by his friends and family in western Mumbai. Tendulkar, who adorned the Indian jersey for over 2 decades, said winning the 2011 World Cup in front of his home crowd was the highest point of his career.
Those moments were special moments which will stay with me for the rest of my life. 2011 World Cup, it doesn't get any bigger than that in cricket. Whole country was celebrating and needless to say that the dressing room was flowing with champagne and photographs being taken with each and every individual with that beautiful trophy.
The Little Master's memories were not free from controversies either. The batting sensation had accused former Australian captain Greg Chappell, who was the Indian coach from 2005 to 2007, of creating a divide within the team.
He targeted senior players because he somehow was of this opinion that senior players are no good, whereas senior players had done brilliantly, and senior players were 30-year-olds. They were not too old to continue with cricket in the team, but just the thought process was not something that we wanted, and there were differences in opinions, and there was not enough transparency.
Tendulkar, who holds the record for being the highest run scorer in both Test and One Days, began his international career against Pakistan in 1989 at 16 years of age. Before he hung up his boots in November last year, Tendulkar had found his place in history with a heap of records, many of them, experts believe, will remain unchallenged.
Sikhs celebrated the most important festival, Guru Nanak Jayanti, with great fervour on Thursday. Hundreds flocked to Gurdwaras or Sikh temples to seek blessings.
An air of devotion and serenity prevailed in India's northern Amritsar as devotees from across the country flocked the iconic Golden Temple in the holy city. Many took a dip in the sacred pond before offering prayers at the Harimandir Sahib on the occasion of Guru Purab, the 545th birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Dev, the founder of Sikh religion. Devotees said they had come to offer prayers to their first Guru.
ਸਾਰੇ ਦਰੂੜ ਦੇ ਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਜੀ ਵਿਦੇਸ਼ਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਲੋਕੀ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਇਕੱਠ ਹੋਇਆ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਗੁਰਪੁਰਬ ਹੈ ਅੰਦਰ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦੇ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਹੋ ਰਿਹਾ ਜੀ ਸਵੇਰੇ ਇਸ਼ਨਾਨ ਕਰਕੇ ਸੰਗਤਾਂ ਅੰਦਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਸੁਣਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਤੇ ਰਾਤ ਨੂੰ ਆਤਿਸ਼ਬਾਜ਼ੀ ਹੋਏਗੀ ਤੇ ਗੁਰੂ ਨਾਨਕ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਜਨਮ ਮਨਾਇਆ ਜਾਏਗਾ
The mass congregation was marked by a special procession from the Akal Takht, the highest spiritual seat of the Sikhs, and recitation from the Guru Granth Sahib, the holy book of Sikhs. Besides chanting hymns, there was a display of Gatka, the Sikh martial art form.
ਮੈਂ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਆਪਣੀਆਂ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਆਈ ਹਾਂ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਮੈਂ ਰਸਤੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਈ ਹਾਂ ਨਗਰ ਕੀਰਤਨ ਦੇਖਦੇ ਹੋਏ ਰਸਤੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਸ਼ਰਧਾਲੂਆਂ ਨੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਲੰਗਰ ਲਗਾਏ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਬੜੀ ਸ਼ਰਧਾ ਨਾਲ ਲੋਕ ਇੱਥੇ ਪੁੱਜੇ ਨੇ ਹਰਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਪਹੁੰਚ ਕੇ ਇੱਥੇ ਪਾਲਕੀ ਦੇਖੀ ਹੈ
Residents in capital New Delhi also thronged the Gurdwaras to offer prayers since early in the morning. The festival, also known as Prakash Parv, is a reminder to follow Guru Nanak's teachings. In northern Poonch, hundreds joined the Nagar Kirtan as the Guru Granth Sahib was taken around the city in a palanquin. Guru Nanak Dev was born in 1469 at Talwandi Sabo, now called Nankana Sahib, 49 miles from Lahore in Pakistan. Around 1600 Indian pilgrims arrived at the Wagah railway station in Pakistan on Tuesday ahead of the big day.
While Sikhs mark the auspicious occasion as Guru Purab, Hindus celebrated as Kartik Purnima, a full moon day, amid prayers and rituals. Take a look.
Devout woke up early on Thursday to begin their day converging at various riverbanks. Worshippers in northern holy city of Allahabad took a dip at Sangam, the confluence of river Ganga, Yamuna and mythical Saraswati. Devotees in Ayodhya also marked Kartik Purnima with religious pageantry. Many floated earthen oil lamps in the river as part of the prayers. According to belief, a dip in the river washes away the sins.
पूर्णिमा का दिन स्नान का भी महत्व होता है और दिए जलाने का भी महत्व होता है कि भगवान हमें भी जैसे हम दिए जलाए पार लग गए दिए और हमें भी भगवान ऐसे ही पार लगाए तारे हमें भी ऐसे ही जैसे दिए तर रहे हैं
Thousands camped by the Ganges in northern Varanasi for a ritual bath which is considered auspicious. Hindus said visiting the holy city was important on this day.
लोग कार्तिक का पूर्णिमासी है आज का दिन आज हम लोग बहुत इसको महत्व मानते हैं और यहाँ क्या कहते हैं गंगा जी नहाते हैं 5 दिन पंचगंगा भी नहाते हैं उसके बाद यहाँ का बहुत ज़्यादा महत्व मनाया जाता है बनारस में कौन सा गली नहीं कौन सा कोना नहीं कि सब लोग यहाँ पर जुट के गंगा में स्नान करते हैं आरती देखते हैं
The day was also celebrated as Dev Deepavali in Varanasi. The steps of all the banks of the Ganges are lit with more than 1 million earthen lamps in honor of the river and its presiding goddess. Legend has it that Lord Shiva killed the demon king Bipurasur. It is believed that the gods descend to earth to bathe in the Ganges and celebrate the victory on this day.
Well, that's the way it was in South Asia this evening. Before we conclude the top stories once again. Protests continue against killing of blasphemy accused Christian couple in Pakistan. India's Narendra Modi government set for cabinet expansion. And Sikhs across India celebrate birth anniversary of Guru Nanak Sahib. That's all in tonight's edition. We'll see you same time tomorrow. Good night.